Imagine a world where the very fabric of life is constantly shifting, where species must navigate a labyrinth of environmental changes to survive. But what if these changes don't just challenge survival, they actually shape the course of evolution itself? A groundbreaking study from the University of Vermont, UVM, reveals that the history and environment of a species can steer its evolutionary path in dramatically different directions. And this is the part most people miss. It's not just about survival, it's about how these changes can either propel a species to new heights or trap it in a cycle of struggle. Led by UVM scientist Senj Petak, the research delves into how environmental fluctuations, like seasonal temperature shifts or alternating periods of drought and rain, impact evolution. Collaborating with UVM computer scientist Leipo Frati and colleagues from UVM and the University of Cambridge, Petak designed a computational study that tracked thousands of generations of digital organisms evolving across diverse, dynamic environments. Their findings, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, PNAS, are eye-opening. Environmental changes can either boost a population's fitness or hinder its progress, depending on the specific conditions. But here's where it gets controversial. Traditional evolutionary studies often focus on a single population in one environment, generalizing the results to entire species. This new research flips that approach, examining multiple populations across numerous environments to reveal how different patterns of change shape evolutionary trajectories. For instance, two populations of the same species, say, fruit flies in the US and Kenya, might face vastly different environmental cycles. While temperature swings could help one adapt to both hot and cold climates, repeated shifts between drought and rainfall might disrupt the other's ability to adapt to dry conditions, forcing it to constantly reset its evolutionary progress. Senior author Melissa Pespany, a UVM biology professor, highlights the study's unique scale. We replayed evolution hundreds of times across diverse environments, something impossible in a lab. The key takeaway? A population's history matters. It determines how high it can climb, and how challenging the journey will be. We can't assume one population represents an entire species. These findings have far-reaching implications. Biologists studying species adaptability to climate change, and public health researchers tracking antibiotic resistance in bacteria, often rely on single population studies. Petak argues that computational models like theirs can generate new hypotheses about how real populations respond to different environmental regimes. By creating 105 variable environments, a significant leap from typical single-pattern studies, the team systematically compared evolutionary outcomes, identifying when environmental variability promotes or constrains fitness. And this is where it gets even more intriguing. The study's insights extend beyond biology, touching on artificial intelligence and machine learning. AI systems often struggle with catastrophic forgetting, losing performance on old tasks when learning new ones. UVM's Nick Cheney draws parallels between this challenge and the team's findings, suggesting that understanding how evolutionary systems adapt to change could inspire better, online continual learning approaches in AI. For Leipo Frati, the research ties directly to meta-learning, or learning to learn. Just as assessing an AI's learning capacity based on a single task can be misleading, evaluating evolvability from a single environment overlooks critical dynamics. Exploring performance across diverse yet comparable environments provides a more accurate picture of adaptability. The study's core message is clear: both starting conditions and environmental variability profoundly shape evolutionary outcomes. Different histories and change patterns can send populations of the same species down vastly different paths. As Petak puts it, the choice of variable environment can strongly influence the outcome. But what does this mean for us? As climate change accelerates and antibiotic resistance grows, understanding these dynamics is more critical than ever. Do you think species can adapt fast enough to survive? Or are we underestimating the complexity of evolutionary challenges? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's spark a conversation about the future of life on Earth. Research report: the variability of evolvability, properties of dynamic fitness landscapes determine how phenotypic variability evolves. https://dx.doi.org/10.1073/pnas.2519469122 Related links. University of Vermont, https://www.uvm.edu. Lands Beyond, Extrasolar Planets, News and Science, https://www.spacedialy.com/exoworlds.html. Life Beyond Earth, https://www.spacedialy.com/exoworlds.html*. The content herein, unless otherwise known to be public domain, is copyright 1995 to 2024, Space Media Network, https://www.spacedialy.com/whowhere.html. All websites are published in Australia, and are solely subject to Australian law, and governed by fair use principles for news reporting and research purposes.